All right, so in my previous two videos, I had some friends that watched the video say, hey, you need a microphone. So I went to YouTube to find what would be the best microphone to use recording most of our videos with an iPhone. So I looked at the DJI and all the others. Rode was way more expensive than I wanted to pay. But I got this on like a limited time deal on Amazon. It's the Hollyland Lark M2 Lavalier wireless microphone. So it's two microphones, they're magnetic. Some good reviews out there, but I'm just gonna kind of unbox this and go from there. Just give you an idea of what's in the package, and maybe it'll be helpful for someone else. And then we'll cut video and come back to this with the microphone in use. So let's get it open here. Sealed up pretty good. Nice box. Just sure paperwork. Oh, this I forgot. It comes with some covers for the actual microphones. So it doesn't just always have the brand out there, but it just depends on what you want to do. There's some different emoji stickers. And then there's just some either white or black there that you can cover up the branding if you don't want to show the brand of the microphone. So set that to the side. In the box, you see these are the adapters. That is for the Lightning adapter for older iPhones. This is for any wireless device, cell phone, whether iPhone 15 and higher has the USB-C, and then any of your other, most of your Android devices have this, but it can also work with anything else that takes USB-C. Those come with it. Several of the others, you had to buy them separately, so it's one of the reasons I chose this. Just slipped out of the packaging. Inside, you have your receiver, and these are the transmitters. This is what will connect from that you could connect to a DSLR camera. It's also got a clip. I'll be honest, I'll have to look a little further into it, but I think you got to have this to use even this, but we'll see. And then you have two of the wireless microphones. Get a little sticker off my hand there. They come covered there. I believe also in the box you have more information down below, but you have the little kit. Comes with a travel bag for your gear. And in that travel bag, you have a couple other things. You have the dead cat, as they call it, your windscreens. I was thinking maybe that would open so I could put it back in that, but it's not cooperating. But these actually, one of the negatives that I saw in a review is that the microphone that with, say, the DJI, it had a clip that clipped right to the top of the microphone. But this one actually goes over the entire thing. But if you're in windy conditions, that could be an advantage. And another little handy part that I liked, I don't know that I will use it as often, but it's an option, is it comes with lanyards or a necklace, whatever you want to call it, that's magnetic. So you have this magnetic lanyard you can take, and the mic will stick right to it. So you can wear it. We'll show that more later. That's some of the accessories that were included, but we'll go a little bit further with the things in the pouch here. You have your charging cable for the charging case. You have a magnetic clip for the microphone. There's 2 of them. If you want to clip the mic on your shirt or collar, you can do it that way. And then the last piece is the auxiliary cable to connect the receiver to your DSLR camera through this to a DSLR. We're not using DSLR, so it's not as much of a, but it's a cool attachment. Some of them, they did not come with that. And there's one more of the dead cats in there in the package. I think that's what they call them, dead cat. And then a little bag to put your stuff down in and keep it. It actually has 2 sides. It has a divider in the bag, so you put your gear in there. On one side, you can put your accessories, and then in the other side, you can put your microphones. All right, we're going to cut away and get this hooked up and see what it sounds like. All right, so one thing I didn't mention a few minutes ago is the actual microphones have their own magnetic clip here. So like when you want to stick it to your shirt without using the lanyard or without using the magnetic clip, you can use the magnetic backing here, which is the same that's actually in the lanyard. You can peel it out of the lanyard if you wanted to use it, you know, if you lost one or whatever. So just want to go over that before we put it into use. Top of my head, hold on. There we go. All right, so we do not have it plugged in yet.
Lights off?
Yeah, the lights are off, they're powered off. A negative for these microphones. I have an OtterBox case for my iPhone. It's pretty easy to get in and out of a charger, but the USB-C here is not long enough to fit in and use with the case on. So, I mean, we do a lot of outside stuff. That's kind of like an important thing to me. You know, maybe I'll have to find a new case or something so that I want to be able to use it with the case on. So I think that's a big deal. So we're testing right now without it on, and then we're going to plug it in and we'll see how it sounds. All right, so here is the video with the mics connected to the phone. We're just using the magnetic clip, like I said before, and it kind of blends in. If you're wearing a darker colored shirt or you have darker colored logos or whatever in your shirt, it kind of blends in. It wouldn't, you know, be recognizable. Of course, on a lighter shirt, you would see it. But I mean, if you're recording videos or vlogs or whatever, I mean, you need a microphone. Of course, my first couple of videos, you definitely could tell that I needed a microphone. The cooking surface of the Blackstone just kind of overrode the sound of me talking in a lot of ways. So I think this is going to be a good addition. Like I said, I'm a little upset. Not upset, but it's kind of a deal breaker when it doesn't fit through a chart, you know, for a case. I guess I could get a more slimline case. I'm going to look for something that'll work with this. But this is with the microphone. We're going to show it with a couple of other applications and see if the sound is different.
So something that I've noticed,
it slides to adjust.
So it might have been a little crunchy. Okay, so something that I've noticed is that with the lanyard, you can adjust your size on based on like how big or small you want it. So it's not going to fit around my head like this, so I have to make it a bit bigger.
And also the microphone, you can take the little clip off the back and that'll take away some of the bulk because there's a clip here already. So that'll help it sit better. It rides in about the same place that I had mine with the magnetic clip.
Yeah.
And so you probably get about the same sound. Of course, you could adjust the size up and down. Of course, if you have a large neck like me, it's going to ride higher. And if you have a smaller neck, it's going to ride lower, but you can adjust it. We'll try the other clips really quick, and you can apply those anywhere. So like if you were recording the sound of some device or something you were using and you wanted more up close sound, say maybe with a pet, you could clip it on their collar with these clips, and that's what we're going to test next. I want to clip it.
Okay, so right now I'm trying to do a close-up. Why is it not focusing? Okay, so right now I'm doing a close-up on how the clip looks. This is how it looks with the little clip on the back. It's very strong, so be careful when applying the clip on the back.
Something I noticed is you may want to have the mic off of the clip.
Yeah, because it's really hard to clip.
And then apply the clip where you would like it on your clothing, and then apply the microphone to that. If you're recording, you're going to get loud clip noise, but
it's clipping really weird. Oh, you folded yours over?
Yeah, you just fold it over. That's if like you're wearing a jacket or something, you could clip it to the collar. It can be very discreet, while you're, recording your videos and things. So, I mean, any way you want to wear it, you have these different options.
And honestly, if you didn't have any of these attachments, you could literally just set it on the table.
You could. Like, that's the clip, the magnetic disc that it comes with. So we're going to test out the windscreen. We have a fan right over here, and she's closest to the fan, so I think it'll work best.
I have the mic already in there, and then I have the, what do you call it?
The windscreen.
The windscreen.
So one negative is it's very challenging to get this inside of this windscreen because it goes around the entire mic, and only the magnet is exposed in the back, which is fine, I guess, for some applications, but we're just going to see how well it works. Go ahead and put that off camera or down below so the fan doesn't pick up. If you can hear, this has a lot of wind noise. You talk with it like right here. Just talk.
So the fan's not directly blowing on me, but it was very hard to hear when the wind was directly blowing on it. So this is seeing how the different wind speeds will affect it. This is with the windscreen, and you don't really hear much of a noise, and it's easier to talk. This is with the wind blowing on me with the windscreen on the mic, and this is with the microphone that doesn't have the windscreen too.
All right, so the Hollyland Lark M2 lavalier wireless microphones, I think overall they're good for what we need it for. There's two downs. One, you have to take your phone out of the case to get the receiver to work. That's the first downside.
And then another downside is when I was taking the mic out of the windscreen, a bunch of some of the hair came out of the windscreen. So you'll probably eventually have to buy a new one because it'll lose so much hair.
Also, it's hard to get in and out of the windscreen. We both dropped it trying to get it either in or get it out of the windscreen. We dropped the microphone, and thankfully it was on the table, not the floor. So other than those two things, I really think that the Lark M2 is going to be very useful for what we use it for. We probably won't be using the DSLR since we have a DSLR, but it's not really ideal for videoing. We'll mostly be doing our videoing through using our iPhone. So overall, I'd give it 4 stars. I'd knock it a star because of the receiver not plugging in with the case on the phone. And I'm gonna try it again just to see if I maybe turn it a different way or whatever, it'll work. But overall, I think it's gonna be good for what we need it for.